Hey Stamping friends, welcome to the Joy of Stamping with Rachel. I'm Rachael Coon and it's Wednesday's kit class where I will show today how to make 4 different Christmas cards using the Stitch Triangle dies. So go ahead and hold for a quick moment and we'll get started and I'll show you how to make these cards. Okay. As always with my Wednesday's kit class, this is an awesome one because you can get this kit for free when you order from me between now and Friday by 4 o'clock. And all you have to do is use the hostess code for this week and spend $35 worth of product. And you will get all of the paper products from this kit. Which if you're like me and you need a jump start on Christmas cards, it's a pretty awesome kit to get right now. These are the 4 cards we're going to be making. I have them going from simple to harder or more experience. But the great thing is I'll teach you how to do all 4 today. Let's go ahead and get started with our first one, which I consider the easiest. This was the first Christmas tree one that came to mind when I saw these dies. And they're really easy because it's just using multiple colors. Oh, before I get too crazy, let me show you the stitch shapes we're using today. So I have used all of these triangles and these triangles. And for most of these trees, I've used 3 of the smallest. But for this first tree, I used all of these ones right here. I didn't use any of these triangles today in our tree making. So these 2 top ones are the ones that I've used. I've also used a lot of other dies and papers and 4 different stamp sets. And so when you get this kit, just use whatever Christmas stamp set you have to finish off these projects. I'll show you what I used, and if you have it, that's great. If not, no worries. Use what you have. All right, so for this one, I did use the Warm Hug stamp set, and I just used this very tiny Happy Christmas, which is a very British Christmas greeting. I also have a good friend named Mary who hates Merry Christmas because it sounds like she's saying her name, and so she likes Happy Christmas. So this would be a great card for her. Let's go ahead and stamp our little saying first, our Happy Christmas. And I already have it on the block right here. And I use the shaded spruce, which is the last color in our tree base today. Flip that over. And here's my Happy Christmas. And we'll ink that up. We'll just do a tap, tap, tap. And we'll get right there. And smush it down. There we go. That one looks great. We'll set that one aside. So that's all the stamping for this card. You could always stamp something in the inside as a greeting as well. That's all for that one. The rest of it is just putting it together. And that's why I said this one was our easy one. So we have our usual card base right here. And then I have already ready for us is our little Christmas tree. And these are just the triangles glued from largest to smallest with a little bit of gold for the star on top. I've used the shaded spruce. I've used garden green, old olive, pear, piaz, soft seafoam. Those are my shades of green. Before we attach that though, we are going to go ahead and attach 2 parts to this card. And I will have all these measurements. So if you're worried that you're missing some, don't worry, I will post that afterwards. Here's our DSP, and I use the polka dot first for this one. I'm going to go ahead and switch it up and use this red side of the DSP. This is from the Warm Hugs Designer Series paper. That's what DSP stands for, just in case you've never heard that before. I say it a lot, and I should probably remind you guys more often that's what it means. All right, so we're just going to place this right there. Feel free to say hi. I should have my comments on, so I'll see if you're here or not. I would love for you to be here along with me. All right, so this little piece right here is just a little scrap of the crumb cake, and we're going to use it for our tree chunk. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over, and we'll just put a little bit of glue here or use our seal, whatever you have that's handy. And we'll just line this up, and I'll flip it over. So first I'll see it there, and I can kind of shimmy it where I want it to be. Kind of right there in the center. Use that top triangle to give you the idea. I did use liquid glue when I built this tree, so I had some of that wiggle. Then we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of it. And we'll put 3 on the bottom. Have some coming up. This is our main guy, so we want him to be on there nice and strong. I'll take all these backings and set them aside. I might even add just one more to the bottom trunk right there. So that one's good to go. We'll flip it over and put it center, but you could put this anywhere that would fit on your card front. Right there. I also popped up our little saint, our Happy Christmas, but he's a little bit littler, so I'm going to use the mini dimensionals here and put them on. This card is super easy and comes together really fast. It'd be a great one to mass produce as long as you have all those triangles cut out and ready for you. So you have our Happy Christmas. And then lastly, we just use our little linen thread to have our bow on top. You guys know I love my linen thread and use it all the time, especially for these little tiny bows. All right, so glue dot to knot, pinch it, and pull it under. And we'll put it right there. Because this is a red base card, we're going to flip it, and we're going to insert our white piece as well. It's in right here. Let's see if we can use our seal today. So this one's almost out, but I have my refiller handy just in case. I can show you how to refill it if needed. There we go. And we will put this on just like that. Use our bone folder to get the good crease. And there we go. We have 2 Christmas cards with those cute trees all lined up and ready to go. Hopefully you guys can see those ones okay. All right, our next one, level of hardness, is this fun one right here. Let's get that back into view so you guys can see it. Except for I have no idea where I put all of my other cards. Let's see if I can find them. I think I stacked them up. Oh, they're underneath my dies over here. Maybe. No, I don't know where I put it. We will just keep on looking for it here in a second. Hopefully we can find my samples for you guys. Oh, here we go. I found it. Okay. Crumb cake. This is our crumb cake tree. This one looks very rustic or kind of vintage to me. And I'll show you how we got that look with this tree. And I love the different sizes of the trees. That makes it super fun. I did use the Be Merry from the Banner Year stamp set for this one. But you can put anything that will fit right here. And I did use the Early Espresso. We'll go ahead and get that ready and out. So I usually do like to give suggestions of things you can buy that would be $35 worth. That would be great for this kit. And I have 3 different suggestions actually for today. Because if you're brand new, I would suggest getting 5 inks. And that would get you to that $35. The 5 inks would be awesome. And I've actually used 5 different inks today. So already I've used the Shaded Spruce. I'm going to use the Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, Real Red, and Mossy Meadow. And those are great Christmas colors. So if you're brand new and need to start building up your ink supplies, that's something I suggest. If you're more advanced and you have already some fun crafting things, such as a die cutting machine, I highly recommend these stitch triangles. It's something to add to your list, and those are $35. So that meets this goal for you to get the kit for free. Or if you're kind of in the middle and you're not a beginner, but you're not quite at die cutting machine level, I would suggest the paper trimmer along with 1 choice of ink and some dimensionals, and that would get you ready for this kit as well. All right, so we're going to quickly stamp our Be Merry. Let's make sure we ink it up nice. And I have it on a crumb cake rectangle die cut out. We're going to go right about here and press down and lift straight up. Oh, that one turned out awesome. All right, let's build some trees. Actually, before we build the trees, let's get this crumb cake ready to go. So what I did to help make these a little bit more rustic looking was I took my sponge and I took my crumb cake ink and I went along the edges. And you just kind of shimmy it on. And you don't want too much. Let me get closer, you kind of see. I'm just kind of spreading it. Some people like to dip it in there like that. I think that makes it just too dark for this style. So I use a sponge to ink, and it kind of makes the paper look dirty, which is kind of a funny, weird choice of words to have on a card, but also gives it that vintage or old look, like it's been around for a while. And it adds just another layer without much work at all. So yes, crumb cake's my favorite and it's one of the ones that I sponge the most to get this look. Look how different that looks already, just from inking up those sides. I love it. It's very faint, but just enough. All right, let's build some trees. So we have 3 trees in this kit today, and hopefully we have all of our pieces. I feel like I'm missing my trunks. Oh, we might have it somewhere. Let's see if I can find the trunks of these. I might be missing my trunks. If that's the case, we'll have to finish that one later. But let me give you the idea of how to make this one then. And these chunks are super fun because they are just early espresso cut out with another triangle. And I think that triangle is this middle one right there. So it is great. All right, let's go ahead and get our tree built. You're going to start with your smallest one. And we're going to work our way up. And I like the liquid glue. And I will just put a dot on top of the triangle. And then I will layer this. You can have it so it's stacked like this completely, covering it, kind of like that first one. They're all lined up. Or you can move it up just a little bit and have the over edge. You could even have it so it's only 2 triangles to make your tree. But I like this layered 3 triangles of a tree. So there's one. And then let's do our mossy meadow tree. This one, you can tell I use a different triangle set. It's a skinnier triangles. So we'll do a little bit of glue there. And you don't want too much because you don't want it to go over. I should have grabbed my silicone mat to keep my workspace safe, but that's okay. And we'll just be extra careful and not too sticky. This guy's just little, so he only has a very little bit of overage on him. But look how cute and skinny he is compared to that one. Just a little different. And then I use DSP, which is another fun way to make a tree. And you could be crazy and have it pattern if you wanted. I find that's a little harder to tell it's a tree, so I like it with this green side on the top. There we go. And we'll just add that one. And these 2 are the same style of triangles. And that center one is the skinny tree. Skinny trees are all the fad last Christmas. We'll have to see if they come back this year or not. We're going to add our star. This is a vellum star that I have. If you want to keep it more rustic, you don't have to add the star. I kind of liked them. Just in that center one at least. There we go. All right. Then we're missing those bottoms. Let me just show you what I would do if I had them and how to finish this. And then I'll make sure you guys know how. So this one, I went ahead and I used our linen thread and I wrapped this around and tied a nice bow. So we can get that lined up. And I did it at least twice. This one I have enough for 3, so we're going to do 3. I went a little crazy with that one and I didn't measure it. There we go. And we'll tie our bow. Remember, linen thread is very forgiving and makes quick, easy bows. And that's why I like linen thread the most, or the best. We'll just trim off our ends a little bit there. And then we'll flip this over and we'll use dimensionals on the back. And that will help give this card, since it's the same color, the crumb cake on crumb cake, you kind of need it to pop. So that way you can tell a difference. And you can see that shading that we just did with the sponge a little bit better. All right, hopefully that's enough dimensionals. Like that. Watch, I bet the second I finish this, I will find those tiny little tree chunks. Okay, we'll line it up so it looks fairly even. Like that. Then the first tree we'd put on with liquid glue would be this guy. And we'll get him nicely lined up. And then I would have this one overlap just a little bit. Like there. And then this last guy, I would actually use dimensionals. And we're going to pop him up. And we can either put it so his trunk is underneath the twine, or you can have it over it. It's up to you. Let me show you the difference. So that's with it over it, and that's with it under it. I'm a fan of under, and so that's the way I did it for this one. And I have it so this can wiggle a little bit since we have it on there with enough room. So that's that one. Sorry, you guys, I couldn't finish it, but that's what this one will look like, and just needs those little triangle chunks. All right, we'll move that one over. And we'll go to our next one. This one is super fun. I found this video of how to make this one and watched it and just tweaked it to what my liking is, and I spiced it up just a little bit, and I'll show you how. I used for this one the Perfectly Plaid stamps. We use North Pole Delivery, and I use the saying inside, "May the special season be wrapped in love and joy." And I've used 2 inks for this one. We're using the Real Red and our Mossy Meadow. I also am using the Warm Hugs DSP. Again, I used that one earlier and loved it. And even for that tree was a DSP tree from the Warm Hugs. I just love that whole paper set. It's so flexible, and I've used it on so many projects and still haven't run out of it, which is just blows my mind of how much I've been able to use with it. Okay, so this card, let me show you why it's so fun. Besides the fact that it has 3 awesome Christmas trees, I'm going to open it up, and inside you'll find a gift card holder. Isn't that awesome? This one's so fun, and it has a fun saying in here, and you just have to sign your name. Doesn't need too much. The video is watching. She suggests that there's going to be a lot of gift card giving this year because of everything going on. It's harder to get in stores, and it's harder to find something that someone doesn't have already. So a gift card holder, Christmas card, might be something you'll be making lots of. I think this one's so cute, and the saying is adorable. All right, and you can put that on a spot that's safe. It doesn't get ink on it. You guys can still see. Thanks. I see Stephanie's here. She's joined us today. Glad you're liking these cards, the trees, and the gift card holder. What a fun surprise, right? You didn't even see that coming. Kind of just jumped out. Yeah. All right. This one has lots of measurements, and all of those will be on my blog. It's already there. We just need to publish it for you guys to see. And so I won't go too crazy into detail for that, but I will show you. The card base will look like this. So it's a regular card base first, and then I've cut it up here, and I think that was, let's see, 2.5. And so I've cut this to right here, and then I chopped off this whole side using that score line that I made earlier at the 4.25. So that's how this card base is made, just using your paper trimmer. Let's go ahead and stamp our greetings first, and then we'll get these inks put away. They make me so nervous when I have them out on paper because I know myself that I'm just going to get them inky. So there's only these 2 Whisper White spots. And this one we're going to do, it's our little one for the front. And I know that's 4 inches by 1 inch. Ink up our Mossy Meadow. Look, I got it on the top, so I have to be very careful. But luckily it won't be on there. And we'll press down, lift up. Awesome. It's a little sideways, but I could always add embellishment right there because I didn't get that very straight. Or I could flip it over and do the other side, which, you know what, we're going to do. We're going to do a redo. I'm going to clean this off real quick. You can use a wipe or a reusable wipe if you want to clean off your blocks super easy like. I know, see, I even got it inky again. Let's see if I can get this a little bit more center. It's tricky. I don't want to get my head in your camera. Okay. Oh, see if that's any better. Ah, that is better. We will take that. Okay, that one's stamped and ready to go. And then we have our real red. And I'm using that fun saying, may this special season be wrapped in love and joy. So we'll ink up this one. And we'll put that in the center. And press down and lift up. That one turned out great. No flipping required. All right, so the rest of this is fairly easy. After you have all those pieces cut, it's not that hard of a card at all. It's just getting all those pieces. I'm going to do this inside piece first, and then we'll do the front. It's probably the hardest. So what we're going to do is use our biggest piece of DSP. And as you know, our designer series paper is double-sided. And so I could choose either way to go on this one, but I really do like this green one. The other side's the red stripes. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some of my liquid glue like that. And we're going to line it up on here. There we go. Then we're going to use that Whisper White that we just used and put it on here as well. Flip it. And we're going to line it up like that. It's going to have just a little gap because we don't want people to see this Whisper White until they've opened it from this flap. Then we're going to go ahead and add our little gift card holder. And I'm going to show you a cool secret. I'm going to use tear tape, which I've already put on here, for this bottom. So we'll take that off. And then I'm going to use glue dots at my corner. These gift cards can be kind of tricky to put in here, and that glue can get kind of crazy and tight. And so I don't need all the glue on the side. I just need it to stay down. So I'm going to use the glue dots here and have that really sticky bottom. I'll put it right there. And then we'll line it up so that way it goes along with the bottom here. So it looks like it's continuous across. I'll have that. I forgot to tell you, I did use a circle punch right here to make that little tip to get the card out easily. And how I do that, this is a 4 across. I measured at the 2-inch and I put a little dash with it, and then I got my punch and I measured it and lined it up so that way it would match. It looked like a center of that area. So that was all the measuring I did, was just to get the kind of eyeball in it. And depends on what size. The lady in the video used a 1 1/4, which is a little bit larger punch, but I had that 1 inch and it worked just fine. Okay, now we're going to flip it and do a little bit of the trickier side. We need to add 2 of our trees first before we add our DSP. And these ones are so cute. This one's Retired Old Olive. It's so pretty. And I have a lot of it, so I can use that for my kit. But you can't buy this at the store or on my online shopping. Just special to get it for the kit. This one is our Pear Pièce, and I've embossed it using one of our embossing folders from the Warm Hugs Suite, and this one as well, and that's in the Mossy Meadow. So these are these triangles. I've used the 2 of the more of the skinny ones and 1 of the wider ones for it. And we are going to add these on first. So what we want to do is just put a little bit of glue on the back of this one and line it up right about there. And then we are going to go ahead and let me go ahead and fold this so you guys can see it a little bit better. There we go. We'll do some more glue for this one, but we're going to kind of sneak them underneath. So put some glue right there, not too much, and just on the bottom. And we're going to sneak this one in before it gets too. I probably could have put him on first, but there we go. And then we'll add our DSP over, and it will cover those ends. So let me get that ready for us. Just using that liquid glue real quick. And look what I did. I put it on the wrong side. So this is going to look super special. Oh, no, I didn't. Phew. Oh, my goodness. For a second, I thought that was going to be up, facing upward. It's right. No worries. Okay. And we will just cover that bottom like so. Then we'll use our North Pole that we stamped earlier. And we are going to use dimensionals to get this guy. Make sure we have the right side that we want for him. Dimensionals on it. And I'm going to put these dimensionals kind of more in the middle. Or closer to the bottom because I need to sneak this guy in still. Oh. And I think when I was watching the video for this one, she actually used glue dots for those trees. So if you have glue dots and not liquid glue, you could totally use that as well. So I'm going to show you how she did that one. So we'll put a glue dot on the back of this guy, and then we're going to sneak them right here. There we go. And there you go. We have 3 awesome Christmas trees on a gift card holder. See, that wasn't too bad. A little bit trickier. You just have to cut it a little bit more. But it's gorgeous and super fun with all that texture. You could totally embellish more by putting rhinestones, the real red ones, or any kind of embellishment, really. But I love that one. That one turned out great. All right, last one. Hopefully we're doing pretty good on time. Is this beautiful, elegant one. I think this just looks so, I don't know if fancy is the right word for it. Thanks, Ashley. So glad you could be here. All right, so this one is just gorgeous. And I used the new brush metallic for this one, so it's nice and shiny. I've even cut out the little star, and I've embossed this one, and we have this embossed here, and we've dyed cut vellum for this one. So this is just all kinds of layers, and that's why it's the most advanced out of these 4 cards. All the layers. I did use a So Many Stars stamp set, and I just used the Season's Greetings, and I've embossed that already on mine, so I don't have to worry about doing that today. And that's the stamp set I used. And then it has matching star die, stitch stars, I think that's what it's called, and made all of those with it. Okay, we'll get out our pieces, and we'll get started. So this one isn't as hard as you may think to make. I did use the thick, focus, there you go, the thick Whisper White for our card base. And let me take off my Post-it note. There we go. And I have this piece of paper that we'll glue on here that I've already textured by putting in my embossing folder. I think we'll do it that side. That's a subtle embossing folder. We'll glue that down. I'm going to use the liquid glue because textured items need to be able to fill those nooks and crannies, and we don't want to rip it accidentally with any type of other adhesives you might be using. I've seen someone use tear tape on textured stuff too, and that works awesome as well. All right, so we have that one down. The next part we need to do is get out our trees. These are what I'll call the skinny trees. Let me dump all of my fun things out. There we go. Hopefully all of our stars are out there. There we go. These stars are the extra stars that came out when I cut this vellum one. So right here, you can see that one has all these little stars in it that pop out. And so I just saved those to use as embellishments because we honestly don't see a whole lot of the star on this one. It's hidden underneath the saying. But in your kit, you can put it however and wherever you want and still use it. All right, so the first one we're going to do is this vellum that's been embossed, and we're going to use a glue dot for it. Because vellum is see-through, we don't want glue that shows up a whole lot. So we'll just glue dot this one in right about there. And then this one, I have that star cut out, which is just super cute. I love it. And we will use dimensionals for this one. We'll just pop it up a little bit. Give it a little bit of pizzazz that way. And we'll overlap that bottom of this one. Just a little bit, like so. So we have 2 trees right there. Next, we'll add our awesome stars on here. And I, again, just use a glue dot. I have that big saying that's going to be over it. And so that will help hold it down as well. Okay, so we're going to put that right about there, kind of center. Then we'll add our dimensionals to the back of our greeting, which I said, I embossed earlier, and I think I used gold for this one. And embossing is awesome. It just takes a little bit of time with the dry heat and the powder and Versamark. And that's how we make the beautiful greetings, season's greetings. All right, we're almost done. Now we just need to embellish with our stars and our champagne rhinestones. Let me show you this color here. These are awesome. They're one of my favorite rhinestones that I like to use, and it seemed perfect for this one. So we're just going to add just a couple. There's two different sizes, 3 sizes, I think. So we'll just put kind of a big one right here, and we'll get a tiny one. Let's go medium. Medium down here, and a tinier one up here. You can kind of tell I'm kind of making a triangle shape with my rhinestones, which helps it look nicer and happy on our eyes. Next, what I'm going to do is just add glue to where I want some other embellishments. So we'll just kind of throw a couple more in here, some random spots. Let's see if we have room for that one maybe. And then I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool that has a putty side to it. And this is sticky, but not too sticky. So it allows me to be able to grab things and pick it up and place it down and use my finger to hold it there. Let's see, this guy maybe down here. And let's grab this bigger guy over here. And just one more little one down there. And my big guy right here has another one. So for this one, I would suggest using a glue dot, and I would add him. Let's get that one. You could even put it on this guy if you wanted to, but I kind of like that one, just super shiny. Let's get this one. Glue dot in, and we're gonna put him right there. There we go. Let's use our bone folder. Let's see how it turned out. Pretty awesome. Oh, I love it. Let me see if we can get it focused. You guys can see it better. There we go. So pretty. I love all the layers of this one and how classy and simple it is, but so many awesome layers and texture. All right, you guys remember all the cards we made? We have that tree one there, our gift card holder one, and we even had this awesome tree one. It's kind of vintagey, and it's missing its trees on that one. I'll finish that later. Don't worry. I hope you guys had a wonderful time learning how to use the stitch triangles to make your Christmas trees and have 4 different card ideas for this upcoming Christmas year. Have a wonderful week, you guys. Don't forget to order online, and you can get this kit for free. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye.